are getting worse, there may be options that can help you breathe easier and get back to doing more of what matters to you. That could mean walking further, spending more time with family and friends, feeling more confident leaving the house, and getting back to the life you want to live. If your COPD is changing, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor. Visit the COPD Foundation website at isthisyoucopd.org to learn the signs of severe and worsening COPD and the right questions to ask next. Take action today. Breathe better tomorrow.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I want to get something out of the way that I put on my social media over the weekend, and I got a truckload of comments and DMs and all sorts of did I put the right? Yeah, of all the ridiculous things. But wanted to let you know that this is my last week on 101.7 The Truth. I will not be moving forward with the new company. And I think, as they say, it is what it is. So let's have a great week. Let's have some great fun. Let's move forward and do some things and all that. So, but I was thinking about, as I always do, I guess because I'm a black man. I think about black men, and I think about the things black men need to do, and I think about all those things that need to change. And so I think I'm going to spend this week dispensing advice. Of course, after this week, I'll be on YouTube. So, that's that. Dr. Ken's Truth on YouTube. So that'll be cool. There's so many things in life that we want to do, and so many things in life we want to change. And as they say, when you're younger versus older, sometimes people don't want you because you're older. Sometimes people don't want you because you're younger. But in the end, it comes down to time versus wisdom. Right? Time versus wisdom. You can't sit here and say that you have issues with. Like I'm in the YouTube chat right now. Somebody said, I can't take all this change. Yes, you can, because life changes. It changes. I'll still be hanging out. You can decide if you want to support the new piece or not. It's completely up to you. But what you shouldn't do is make a decision before you've had time to think and think it through and all that stuff. So I ain't going nowhere. I'll be around. Haven't decided if it's going to be live or if it's going to be 3 days a week or Monday through Thursday. I don't know, because I like my Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm just saying. So I'll probably do Monday through Thursday, definitely. Unless you all tell me you want something different. Then it'll be every day. Every single day, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. So, but that doesn't preclude you from support here. Got it? So let's not get all nonsensical, because elders have wisdom, young folks have time. I talked about that in the past. And so one of the things I'm going to talk about this week, I want to talk about men, because I always talk about women, and we talk about women with women and all that other kind of nonsense like this, right? But I want to talk about the perception of black men in America, especially in Milwaukee. And my top 5 at 5 have some interesting things in it by virtue of the fact that it's about women, but and some of the stuff women are doing. However, I want you to understand, if you're going to change perception, no one's going to beg white America for acceptance. You have to build an undeniable presence, discipline, excellence, influence. That stereotype will just collapse, because eventually you'll become the stereotype. Oh, all of them like that. Perception changes when patterns changes. So if you want to try to change something, you have to interrupt. You have to disrupt, right? When visibility changes, when power changes, when behavior becomes impossible to ignore, that is the only thing that is going to change the perception of black men in Milwaukee. One way is to not ask permission to be respected as a black man. And then people argue, oh, what's going to be black? What's going to be race? Because you made it that way. You created something, white people took advantage of it, and then tried to cry race neutrality. Makes no sense. You change the perception of black men by sustaining cultural, economic, intellectual, and, listen close, personal discipline. Black people ain't responsible for racism, so stop telling us we got to change because of something you did. You created it, you end it, but you don't get to tell us how it affects us. Black people are not responsible for historical oppression. It's in the past. There's nothing you can do to change the past, so I think black people need to build up a little persistence and resilience and all that stuff and move forward, but we're not responsible for it. And we're not responsible for stereotypes that you created of us. We are responsible for what we normalize, what we continue to do that other people use against us. We're responsible for what we celebrate, for what we tolerate. And we're responsible for what we produce moving forward, like your children. Perception is built through repeated exposure, so if you're only exposed to the negative sides of black people, then that's all you're going to get. If people in Milwaukee repeatedly see dysfunction, teen meetups, trashing cars, doing dumb stuff, running red lights, it assumes dysfunction in the black community is normal. So then you can't complain when people call you something, because that's how the majority of you are acting. And when you have a chance to correct it, you say it's culture. If the city repeatedly sees ownership, discipline, innovation, that perception is going to change. Every single ethnic group in America corrected itself. The Jews weren't accepted when they first got here. Italians weren't accepted when they first got here. Irish, they weren't accepted. Chinese, Japanese, they weren't accepted when they first got here. It wasn't overnight and it wasn't perfectly, but they did it intentionally. So here's some things black men can do right now in the city of Milwaukee to change the perception of how black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, all people in America see black men. Number one, become economically dangerous. Not physically dangerous, economically dangerous. Own enough stuff where whenever they have to make a decision, they got to call you. You are a power player at the table. Because we know America respects ownership. Don't matter what you own, but they respect it. If you can sign the check instead of cashing them, people respect you. Next, protect your image with discipline. If you're going to go do some dumb stuff and some silly stuff and some outrageous stuff, to go somewhere where there are no cameras, no internet, no pictures, no phones, no nothing. Do what you do and come back and go, hey, I'm great. Because right now we're fighting caricatures. Lazy, irresponsible, hypersexual, emotionally absent, criminal, undisciplined, no control whatsoever. And whether the media is fair or not is irrelevant. It just amplifies the examples that it already has. And to be honest with you, we cooperate with the performance too. I mean, at some point, every time you have a confrontation, it doesn't need to be content. Every weakness doesn't need to become entertainment. Sometimes, watch this, maturity is revolutionary. Because if you're disciplined as a black man, you can change perception simply by controlling yourself. How you dress, how you speak, how you respond to conflict, how you carry yourself in public, how you conduct business, that matters. The times that I've gotten in trouble the most was when I did just that, because then people got bothered. We as black people are judged as a whole by the visibility of the few. It's not fair, but it is what it is. If you understand systems and you understand processes, you can do anything in life. However, too many of us entertain culture, right? But we're not the owners of the culture. I can attest, because I use myself as an example, a well-spoken, highly informed black man can disrupt more people than a loud, boisterous one. Because ignorance is expensive. It'll cost you too much. When you don't understand contracts, taxes, investing, insurance, politics, media, and you don't know who to call to get it, that's a problem. Somebody else profits from our confusion. But in the end, no matter what we do, we have to control the narrative. We have to tell our story because they monetize our pain. They monetize our dysfunction, put it in movies, sell it to people, and then we're supposed to say it's okay. When you think about the dysfunction that was in the Michael Jackson family, let alone his life, and they're going to make tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars off of his life and his death. But look at all the things black people have built in Milwaukee. We built music, sports, language, culture, fashion, innovation, the city, leadership, entrepreneurship, faith community, all those things. But they only look at the loudest thing as the thing they want to show that represents us. If I can show something negative, that represents all black men. And we know when we walk in a room, people meet us before they meet us because they assume we're like everybody else. Fair or unfair, But let me be clear. Changing the perception of black men in Milwaukee is not performing for white people. It's not about assimilation. It's not about abandoning black culture. It's about elevating the standard and keeping your identity. How do you do that? Number one, you can wear culture but not become a caricature. You can elevate standards, preserve identity. Embrace blackness without glorifying destruction, right? Elevate standards, preserve identity. Honor struggle, but don't normalize dysfunction. Yeah, you're struggling on your own welfare, but at some point, you got to get off and move forward. Because I'm going to be honest with you. The only time black people are protested against is when we show excellence. And it's too difficult to dismiss. Ownership is too difficult to silence. Intellect is too difficult to manipulate. Strong families, difficult to destroy. Unified communication, that's a whole other thing. So how do you change all this perception? One, you stay rooted, you stay focused, and you stay disciplined. You become so excellent that stereotypes seem like a lie because everything that they've seen is of excellence. We want to build, which is why we got fraternities. That's why we got Prince Hall Masons. That's why we got 100 Black Men. All these organizations. The goal is to build a generation of black men so strong that they no longer need validation in any part of their life, especially from people that are committed to misunderstand them. Makes no sense. Because history has shown us something powerful. I'll leave you with this. Perception might just shape our opportunity, but persistence will definitely shape our destiny.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 19th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in May 19th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. We've been talking about how we going to get black men to change the perspective and the profile of what it is they do. I think every day this week, leading up to Friday, I'm going to pick one topic, and that's going to be my show topic for the day. I want to kick around things that can be done. And so if you have any comments about how do we change it? How do we create destiny? Which drives me to a question I don't know if I should ask. I don't know if I've asked this before, but why can't black people get out of the influence of white society? Like, have so many things, by the way, 833-212-1017 if you want to respond. Why can't black people get out of the way, get out of under the influence of white society? Is it that we perceive that they have the control they have? They actually have the control they have? Or we just want to be like every other human in America in the world and just belong? I don't know. At some point, we stopped getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. We allow people to do things to us and through us, but then only get ours and discount other things, other people, other entities, which is fine. It's just people can play your human nature against you when you're black to work against you being black, which is weird to me. But that's what we do. Todd, talking text line, said, "Hi, Dr. Ken. I will follow you on whatever platform you're on. I am super upset you're leaving. I recently found you the absolute best talk show host." I'm not reading this because this is what he wrote. Host I have ever listened to, bar none. Well, thank you for that. You are the best at your craft. I love your perspective on current events and life in general. I will always follow your career in any avenue you choose. Your loyal listener, Todd. Was that Todd from Oconomowoc or Waukesha? Waterford. Todd from Waterford. Okay. Well, thank you for that. But yeah, it's at some point, we keep talking about a colorblind society, but is that what we really want? Do black people really want a colorblind society? Too much of our culture, too much of our life, too much of what we do is tied into our color. But then in order for us to move forward, we let other things happen, and then we take care of ourselves first, which I get. That's how life goes. But at some point, are we going to give away the culture and miss changing that perspective of negative? Because we perpetuate that a lot. I was walking around this weekend and I just saw black people I'm like, well, are you dressed that way because you're poor? Or are you dressed that way because you're dressed that way? Or are you dressed that way because you're just, jamming people and you actually got money? You just standing outside. Like, here's the problem. Here's what I say. Anytime I see you on a schedule to beg for money, that's a problem for me. I go to the same place every Thursday morning. This same guy shows up to beg for money. I'm like, player, what you doing? Like, Sunday through Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. What you doing? And so I think, yeah. So when you got a system set up, I'm inclined not to help you. The other thing was, before I get to the calls, I offered to give somebody some money. And they said, oh, okay. I said, but what do you need? Oh, man, I'm hungry. I said, why don't you come inside and I'll buy you something to eat? He told me that's okay. I said that. That is why I knew you were lying and I'm not giving you money. I'm kind of, I'll admit, I'm kind of hard on. Let me think about if I want to say that before I get beat up. Fitzgerald, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. Great topic. I think that when you mentioned earlier in the dialogue about the culture, you referenced culture, and I think that is a key. And I think part of culture, for me, and my little bit of understanding, is values. And I think when you can get black men to have certain values, right, and those values that they have, if they demonstrate how, if those values can influence them how to be a specific way in terms of how they think, and then the results of that thinking, I think now you're on a pathway to maybe correcting what I hear and some of the problem that you're referring to in terms of black men. Now,
okay,
when you go across the country, I don't know what it looks like specifically when you talk about black men and you compare men in the city of Milwaukee to a comparable city, not a big city that's got 8 times the population. I'm not talking Chicago, but compare black men here to like Kansas City or Cleveland or Minneapolis, and then I would be interested in some kind of research to see what kind of success, and then the areas of success that black men have. But if we're focusing on here, because we're from here, I live here, born here.
Well, I
think. Oh, you're not? Okay.
No,
I'm born and raised here.
I've been here half my life. How can I phrase this? Half my life I lived in Chicago. The other half I lived here. I am literally smack dab in the middle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was born here. So I've seen the changes, and I've, had an opportunity to live in other cities for a little small time.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's the values. I know it is. It's the values. And for some reason.
Okay, so then let me challenge you with that because I'm getting short on time. What values are you talking about?
Well, one in particular is self-value. How do you value yourself? So let's start there. Like when you value yourself, how many things do you do that causes harm to yourself, right? And then when you talk about self-development, is it existential or is it something internal? You have to decide. You have to decide that, right? So once again, like when you start to value your life, yourself, your body, your mind, I would think, just thinking on that, I would do things that's going to enhance my mind, my body, my spirit. I'm going to do positive things to enhance that, what I am. But if I don't value it, it floats however way my mind goes. And so you have to like be centered on, like, I care about for myself in an extreme way, almost to the point where it may be sounding selfish, but it's my self-preservation that I need to have kick in, right?
But Fitzgerald, I gotta toss this in here.
Oh my!
You're making a huge assumption that people value that because you value it, and so the way you see it.
But that's the key. That's the key
to
what you're referring
but it's
to.
Not. It's not. It's up to that. If that person doesn't value it, you assume that if they value life or value themselves, then they won't hurt other people, kill other people, do all these other things. That's an assumption.
Well, it's an assumption based on enough eyewitness accountability that most people probably fall into that thinking.
which is anecdotal at best, so we really don't know if that. In other words, look at the other side. What's stopping people not from killing people or hurting people or shooting people or stealing?
Values.
We don't know that because we haven't asked that question, have we? We don't know.
It depends on what you call values.
We're making an assumption. Well, you use the word values. We're making an assumption.
Because you mentioned about culture.
Right. But you're making an assumption about the outcome of those values. And I don't know if that's true.
Well, it depends on who the person is that's, in my case, making the assumption. So if I use my own life, then I'm going to say it's truth to it. And that my life is not that much special than anybody else's. So I'm suggesting that if black men did 50% of the things that I've done in my life, it'd be a lot. Milwaukee would be it'd be a lot better place.
Yeah.
Now I know you saying I can't guarantee that, but contrary to that, you can't say that it can't be that way either.
I'm saying, show me.
Well, that's why we're trying to answer the question.
Okay, show me.
Right?
Show me.
So it would take black men to have a value within the culture that's going to help improve like that. That's just one aspect of your life. That's just one aspect of value. There's other ways to slice that apple that there's more components to it.
Okay.
But, we're not sitting down writing a book or we're not writing your memoir. So, I
Not
can...
yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. All right, Fitzgerald. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. Take care.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
And so we've been kicking it around. Fitzgerald brought up some very good points. I'm running behind a little, but he brought up some very good points as it relates to what do black men value. If I can show what you spend your money on over the last 5 days, I can show you what you value. I can tell whether or not you enjoy something, like something, have your mind on something, if I can see your bank book. You know what I'm saying? Like your balance and all that. However, if you tell me who your 5 closest friends are, I could tell you whether or not you're going to get through the week. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazaga.
Northbound on 43, that ramp from Kilbourne was closed because of a crash. Well, they have been able to reopen it, so things are a lot better through there. On the southbound side, we do have delays from Keefe down through the Marquette all the way down to the KK River crossing. On westbound 94, backing up from 35th all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound's got backups from Barker Road to Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes from just east of Hawley Road all the way to 35th. We've also got still heavy delays on southbound 41 from before Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol Drive. Northbound's backed up from Mayfair up past Burleigh. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, a chance of showers or storms. Some of them could be strong, a low of 62. Tomorrow, chance for storms and showers early, possibly severe as well, becoming partly cloudy with a high of 77. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upaathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Ready to grow your business? Then connect with the City of Milwaukee at City Connect 2026, the city's 3rd annual vendor fair sponsored by BMO Harris Bank. Join local businesses, community partners, and city leaders Thursday, May 28th at Milwaukee City Hall from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Learn how to compete for city contracts, navigate the bid process, explore small business certifications, and build valuable connections through workshops and networking opportunities. Visit milwaukee.gov/vendor fair for details.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this. Nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Weekdays from 4 to 6. Live on YouTube and broadcasting on 1017 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This sports update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Brewers are headed to Chicago to face the Cubs for the first time since the Brewers beat the Cubs 3-2 in last season's NLDS. The Brewers have won 8 out of their last 10 games, but suffered one of those losses in the final game of the series against the Twins. Brewers lost yesterday's game 5-4.
This one behind home plate. Caratini sheds the mask. He's got room, makes the catch. And the Twins survive, and they salvage a game out of this series.
Chicago came together during the White Sox and Cubs series to call out a familiar Wisconsin sports team. As you can hear, Green Bay sucks. Well, here's a familiar sound for Brewers fans.
It is gone! Price Terang! An October moment!
Tonight's game begins at 6:40. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 1017 The Truth.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You make me feel funny when you come around. Yeah, that's what I found out, honey. What am I doing without you? You make me feel happy.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. We're going to take it easy this week. We ain't going to do too much deep stuff. We're going to take it easy. But I'm going to talk and do all sorts of things and have a great time and reminisce and all that stuff. So, 833-212-1017 is the number. Quanda said, let me take the YouTube chat. Y'all be doing. Oh, by the way, Kathleen put, will you still be doing your book review, The Spook Who Sat by the Door? Almost definitely. Almost definitely, yes. So I think we'll be doing that, just so you know. Babar, what? What are you talking about, Babar? Welcome back, Dr. Ken, even though you'll be leaving soon. That's from Mao. So you can hit me on at Dr. Ken's Truth on YouTube, and that's my X handle. And LinkedIn, Dr. Kenneth Harris Jr., so I'll be in all them places doing what I do. Let me see what it was. So Kwanda said, Dr. Ken, I pray you enjoyed your birthday weekend. We'll be listening. It will no longer be. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, look at you. Outstanding. Got some awards and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Winning the way you do. And Lucretia Kwanda said, what's up? Cool. I get it. And so one of the things we have to realize and understand that happens in life is that change happens, right? And so as I was going through the news today, I was looking at some of the things for my top 5, and I was a little perplexed to the point where I'm going to ask that question because it was kind of a weird thing. I don't really understand how we allow ourselves to be manipulated and presented in a way that's not really clear, that's not really positive, and we do it. We talk about weighing whether or not you're black or not, or whether or not you're black enough, or take your black card. We do that silliness here, but in the end, what it came down to is what's acceptable. But is it acceptable to white America or is it acceptable to black America? Because those two things are mutually exclusive, although there's some things that fit. I can't think of any. I can think of things in white culture that fit black, but not black culture that fits white. We seem to be only in the entertainment and the sports arena acceptable in white society. And then everything after that, we got to fight in business. We got to fight in real estate. We got to fight in investing. We got to fight in home ownership. We got to fight in everything else. And I don't know if that's important enough for us to really bother to. I think we spend an inordinate amount of time not taking advantage of resources instead of just doing what we do. There are some things I do as a black man that I only do with black people. Or if there's a white person in my family, that is my family that I do. And it's I can't say what somebody else told me, but it's what we do. And sometimes people will invite me to stuff. Hey, can you do such and such? And I go, no. I had an example today. Somebody wanted to introduce me, and then we'll take a break. Somebody wanted to introduce me to somebody because of some of the work I do in the community and all this and that. And I thought about it, and I said, and I guess you can tell me how to do this. 833-212-1017 is the number. How do you tell somebody else who wants to introduce you, and I'm using this, introduce you to somebody? No. Be like, hey, Zach, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. You want to go on the radio. He want to be in the radio, blah, 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 blah. How does Zach say to me, hey, Dr. Ken? Yeah, no. Without sounding pompous, without sounding like I don't really need that. Not really. Now, to be honest with you, when we come back, I need you to answer that question. How do I tell somebody that the person they want to introduce me to, yeah, I'm not interested? Now, I'll tell you why, but I want to hear from you. 833-212-1017. How do you tell somebody who wants to introduce you to somebody that you really don't want to meet them? I need I need an entryway into that conversation because I've got like 3 or 4 different answers to that just might not be appropriate. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. How do I tell someone that I don't want to meet somebody they want to introduce me to?
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Nicole Acosta, Director of Impact Engagement at Peak, and Tyreka Barnes, a parent of students at Peak. They will discuss how your child can do summer different through their free summer programming in Milwaukee and camp in Boscobel, Wisconsin. Again, that is the Community Spotlight this Wednesday with the Kellogg Peak Initiative at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, Petey Pablo, Jaquan, and Milwaukee's very own Big Frank. It's Milwaukee's biggest throwback party of the summer, all for $29. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty pageant, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets now at tacosandtequilafestival.com.
At UW Credit Union, we have best-in-class technology and peopleology. Like if you lose your card, you can stop by in-branch for a same-day replacement, or you can have a new one instantly issued to the app. So whether you prefer interacting with our snappy online interface or our in-person regular faces, UW Credit Union is always here for every you. And whichever you choose, it's the best of both worlds. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Prizes,
exclusive experiences,
even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com.
That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I had a question on the floor. How do you tell somebody? Like, hey, thanks for the friend connection, but, I mean, it's easy to do on LinkedIn. It's easy to do on, you just decide, ignore. And then it keeps popping up, like, ignore. Like, what are we going to do? Decline? Like, what? So somebody says, hey, I want to introduce you to, I got a friend of mine, y'all do the same stuff. And I'm like, I'm not really seeing any utility in really meeting the person. So how do I say thanks, but no thanks? Without it sounding pompous or arrogant, I got for you. Right? I'm just, yeah. So let me go back through the talk and text line and the YouTube chat. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh, somebody said when I read the YouTube chat and all that, I don't read the comments. Some of them I don't. Well, one of the reasons I don't is because if it takes a significant amount of time to have to give the backstory, to answer what the person is saying, it's kind of not worth saying. And y'all see it in here, so I guess y'all can talk to each other. But I'm just saying. Lucretia said, "What's up, bestie?" So you heard that. Yeah. But it just is what it is, you know. Tony said, "How do I feel about Tory Lowe leaving?" Tory Lowe's a grown man. Tory Lowe can do what he wants, just like I can. If somebody wants you, they do. If they don't, they don't. And you move forward, and life happens, and you be professional, and you go on. Like, what are we doing? I don't really understand that. I don't really. Yeah. We'll just restart study hall at Dr. Ken's Truth, and we'll just keep moving. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a big deal. People are relax. Just take it easy, move forward, all that. Right? Ooh. It is perfectly fine. But going back to it, like black stuff. Oh, you need to quit, Babar. You need to quit. So Zeta Shay said, "What's your reason for leaving?" So do people even know? Has anybody said it? So 1017 The Truth was acquired by another entity, and they're moving forward, and they're changing some of the lineup or all of it, or I don't know. And they're moving forward, and I'm not moving forward with them. It's not a relax. It'll be great. Last week, everything's fine. But it just disturbs me that we as black people, getting back to it, that we as black people don't take responsibility for some of the things that we do. That we don't. We want black stuff and we want to do black things, but then when it becomes negative, it's kind of, yeah, I know I'm jumping all the way because I'm reading through all the chats and reading through all the things. But at some point, black people need to be responsible. So that's why I started out this entire hour for black men to kind of ask them, what y'all doing? Like, what exactly is y'all doing? What are you doing? Because if you stay quiet and don't say anything, you're as bad as the people doing the work. There's a way. My other topic was, how do I tell somebody that wants to be my friend, I don't want to be their friend? It wasn't like that, though. It wasn't that way. See, now I'm getting, reading too many text messages and going all over the place. But one of the main things before the break was whether or not I was going to, a person said they wanted to introduce me to somebody, and I didn't know how to tell that person, thanks, but thanks, but I don't really want to be friends. So here's what I did. Because first it's cold, then it's hot, then it's cold, now it's hot again. Probably because I'm drinking coffee. So one of the things I had to consider, because this is what went through my mind when the person's asking me. Number one, I don't know who this person is. They told me the name, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And they started talking about all the things we had in common. I said, okay. I said, well, this person lives in such and such. And I was like, okay. I'm not really understanding what I would have in common with this particular person and why. Oh, you all do this, you all do that, you all do this, you all do that. And I just connected something that didn't make any sense to me at the time, but now it makes a sense to me now. And I'm going to use race as an issue because I know this person. I've known him for years. He's a friend. He's never done anything negative, but he's a white guy who understands black culture and all that. But he was introduced to me to a foreigner who's from another Latin American country. And he said, yeah, I want to introduce you. You're a black guy and you do stuff with black kids and all that. And then he said this person, And I said to myself, thinking internally, this guy's not black. What exactly are you saying we have in common? Because we do this or because we do that? And so I was like, I don't know if I want to be friends. And the thing that triggered me was, this guy's not black. He's Latino, which is okay. I'm going to do like everybody else. I got a lot of friends that are Latino. But it's from a different point of view. It ain't black stuff, which is okay. But I don't know if in that space that's going to fly. It'll become too generic. And here's my other reason. And I had to be honest about this because people get mad. Sometimes you get old enough, you just don't want to make new friends. Like, dude, I got enough friends. I appreciate it. We could be an acquaintance. We can hang out every now and then. We can do that. But I got enough friends. And that sounds mean, right? That sounds mean. But at some point, you got to check it, right? I understand why people that are in their 80s, you'd be like, hey, let's do so-and-so. They'd be like, nah, let's not do that. Yeah, but I'm good. Because you get to a point, and I think that age is around 50-ish. You get to a point where you're not really trying to take on too much stuff. You're not going to take on so much stuff that I got to make. Because honestly, you know the trauma in making new friends? You got to see how they cool, and do you want to get to know their family and friends? And I did that in elementary school, middle school, high school, college. I'm not doing that anymore. Do that at work. I'm not making any new friends anymore. It's almost to the point where if you don't know me by now, too bad, so sad. If I don't have an understanding or inkling of you doing something, I'm pretty done. And that sounds mean. Mao said you can never have enough friends. Mao clearly is under the age of 50. Because Mao don't know what he's talking about. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 up next.
Truth Nation, don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summertime traditions. The UPath Ride for the Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. Tune in to 1017 The Truth this week for your chance to enter to win a free bike and a ticket to the UPath Ride for the Arts.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
You've been diagnosed with COPD, but breathing seems to be getting harder. Everyday activities, walking to the mailbox, going up the stairs, talking on the phone take more effort than they used to. You're short of breath more often. Flare-ups are happening more frequently. And slowly, life starts to feel smaller. Is this you? If your COPD symptoms are getting worse, there may be options that can help you breathe easier and get back to doing more of what matters to you. That could mean walking further, spending more time with family and friends, feeling more confident leaving the house, and getting back to the life you want to live. If your COPD is changing, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor. Visit the COPD Foundation website at isthisyoucopd.org to learn the signs of severe and worsening COPD and the right questions to ask next. Take action today. Breathe better tomorrow.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So much stuff has been going on this weekend. So much stuff is happening. Like it's like trying to keep up with everything is just, it's just bizarre.
Number 5.
From CBS 58, a former school principal learned her sentence today after being convicted of her 4th OWI. I don't know how she had a job, but anyway. So this is quite literally when we're talking about an OWI offense, it's as aggravated as you can get, says Judge Michael Kinnitz. And I haven't even gotten to your blood alcohol level, and I haven't gotten to the fact that there was alcohol in the vehicle. I haven't even mentioned that your license was revoked at the time. Blair Busack, former principal at Milwaukee's Institute of Technology and Academics, will spend 2 years in prison with 6 years of probation after her release. She was arrested last March after leading police on a chase in Washington County, which ended in her crashing into a guardrail. Back in March of this year, she pleaded guilty to attempting to flee an officer. Attempting. Well, I guess when she didn't do it, I guess it didn't matter. She crashed. Anyway. as well as her fourth OWI. Those OWI convictions have occurred over the course of the past 2 decades. Does it matter if it's 2 decades or 2 weeks? What were this woman's friends doing? Like, literally, what were this woman's friends doing that she felt like she had the ability to just roll in and drive? But I guess, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Well, I know what this is.
Number 4.
Also from CBS 58, Milwaukee police are investigating a stabbing that happened near 14th and Fond du Lac this past Saturday. Police around 5 a.m. say a 33-year-old victim was stabbed and transported to a local hospital. A 24-year-old woman was arrested in connection. Criminal charges were referred to the district attorney's office in Milwaukee. And as if that wasn't enough,
Number 3.
also from CBS 58, a 26-year-old woman was arrested in connection with the stabbing near 13th and Hayes. 27-year-old was stabbed during a domestic violence incident around 2 a.m. Victim was transported to a hospital for treatment of serious but non-fatal injuries. Criminal charges against the 26-year-old suspect will be referred to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. And last time I checked, because I can't count, I went to the public school. That's 2 women in 2 days that stabbed another person. Now, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe something's wrong with me. But when y'all start complaining about us's, like men, which is what I'm talking about today, y'all start complaining about us. Don't pretend like you know what you're talking about.
Number 2.
From WISN.com, a Milwaukee County judge refused to accept a plea deal today for a 15-year-old charged in the kidnapping of a 7-year-old last year. Judge David Borowski denied the agreement, which would have reduced the teen's potential sentence to over 90 years to a maximum of 15 years in prison. The plea deal included the teen pleading guilty to robbery and waiving his right to trial. This crime, as described in the complaint, is straight out of a very, very, I say, severe Netflix movie, Borowski said. Barry Coleman, the teen defendant, appeared shackled in court as the state and defense presented the plea deal. According to the criminal complaint, Coleman orchestrated a plan to rob the 7-year-old boy's mother, but instead kidnapped the boy, y'all remember this, in an attempt to hold him for ransom in July of last year. He's charged with 3 felonies and a misdemeanor, including kidnapping, taking hostages, possession of a firearm by a delinquent. And Borowski said, no way am I taking what's on the table to take him from 90-plus years in prison to 15. Despite, get this, both the state and the defense being prepared to move forward with the agreement, Borowski expressed his reservations in the case. He said this is a heinous allegation even for Milwaukee. What is that supposed to mean? And that's saying something. Counselor, the defense wants to try to convince me. You can try, but right now I'm not convinced. That's what Borowski said. Following statements from the assistant district attorney, Kenneth Olstinsky, and the defense attorney, Borowski said he was rejecting their plea deal. The judge said. They said 15 years in prison. The judge said, no, we need to look at approaching 90, basically. He said the defendant is the one that allegedly did the physical grabbing and the carrying and the throwing of the kid into the car. So I'm not accepting the plea, period. That's what Borowski said. It's not in the interest of justice for me to accept this. Borowski scheduled a new hearing next week to give the 2 sides a chance to revise their deal and present it to him again. Otherwise, the case will be scheduled for a jury trial. Now, think about this. Trying to get money, scooped up the kid, threw him in the car, held him for ransom. Remember, they went looking for him, and all of a sudden he was released from the place and was found walking down the street and all that, and mother wasn't alleged this, and dad wasn't alleged that, and all that drama lasts. And then they found the person. 15-year-old kidnaps a 7-year-old. Would you lock him up for 15 years and he gets out when he's 30? Or with the pile of time, do 90? I wish it was 20. 90? Is there a what's playing a part in this story? Like what's playing a part in this story? Is it because of race? Is it because of age? Is it because of who they grabbed? Is it because of who they like? I don't know what it is, but something about this story disturbs me. That judges are now deciding that a plea deal between the defense and the prosecution for 15 years of prison, and the kid can get out sooner. He's only 15 years old, might be able to be saved, right? But something in this is stopping it. You want to give him more time? Like, I don't know. Is that something that we should do? We'll have to talk about that later.
Number 1.
Because I thought I've heard things, but I guess safety isn't even safe anymore. A private parking garage security guard was attacked while confronting a man attempting to break into cars. The assault happened just before 6 a.m. So the Milwaukee police said the 34-year-old guard discovered a 32-year-old man inside the parking garage trying to break into vehicles. The guard confronted them. The man attacked the guard, according to the police, who was taken to a hospital with injuries. They didn't provide an update on the guard's condition, right? All this would be like almost normalized, right? Until you found out it was in cars near the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Till you find of where they were breaking into. People that park in the parking lot, I have parked in that place every day I worked when I worked in District 1 or the jail or had to go to court. And you have security who actually works there, who's walking through, sees a guy trying to break into cars, tries to stop the guy breaking into cars, and the 32-year-old man inside the parking garage trying to break into cars attacks the 34-year-old guard. Police detectives confirmed around 10:15 a.m. that the suspect had been taken into custody and the criminal charge will be referred to the DA's office. The guard is employed by Securitas, a private security company, and they're checking with the company. That's what WISN 12 is doing. We have come to a point in society where we have to watch the watchers. That we can't even trust simple security, so our car can't get broken into to be there. And that's unfortunate. It is really unfortunate because we're getting to a point where, I don't know. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. When we come back, I'm going to hit the talk and text line and the YouTube chat. And I got a few topics up my sleeve. We'll be back.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talk stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talk specializes in a range of treatments including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away to MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm confused. Like, is crime, are women taking over crime now, or is it, I know it's anecdotal, women just using, like, knives now? Like, I don't know. And are we starting to categorize crime the way that we categorized crime back in the day? Like, it's like boomer crime, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like we used to be able to see, oh, somebody got shot. Oh, I know who did that. Hey, somebody got cut. Oh, I know who did that. Oh, somebody stole like a pound of this or that or that. Oh, yeah, I know who did that. You could tell if it was a mob thing or if it was a gang or if it was just some knucklehead going in to do, like, you knew based on the information they gave you who really committed the crime, because we were good at categorizing. Now people are mad. You can't categorize me. I could be different. I think we're moving back to categories, like women stabbing people. Because back in the day, that was a, when women got mad, you better be careful. She might have a knife. Like, that was what we talked about in the, He was like, she might have a knife. She might cut you. Better be careful. She gonna cut you. Well, 2 in 2 days. Like, that's a lot. Just for me. I'm just saying. That's a lot. I think that's a lot. And if I think that's a lot, I'm pretty sure you think that's a lot too. Miles said, I love the shirt, by the way. Thank you. Black Scholars Matter. That's right. SC said, when I was talking about new friends, SC said, just say no new friends and move on. No big deal. Just say, nah, I'm good. But what do I do to handle the other person that's offended that I actually said that, or to handle their offense? Or should I bother? Should I actually bother to control how they feel? Or just blow them off and be like, hey, if you don't feel okay. And if they're offended, they're offended. Because I can't control people being offended. Like I was telling somebody today. They were like, you're being disrespectful when I said, well, I can't control you feeling disrespected. Just like people can't control me feeling disrespected. Like, I can say it can be taken as being disrespectful, but I'm not disrespectful. Like, I don't feel, oh my God, you disrespected me. That caused too many fights, too many world, wars. Some stuff is just let go. Let go. But I just don't want to make no new friends. Like, I don't want to. We might hang out. We might meet up. We might chill somewhere. We might, hey, let's all meet up at this place. Let's meet up at that place. But I'm not making new friends. I think I got all the friends that I want to make. And, if we click, we click. And if we don't, we not. And I'm okay. Now, there's a other secret side to that I want to talk about. And the other secret side is being so alone that you end up in the man cave by yourself watching Netflix documentaries on poodles and all kind of crazy stuff. Like, it's just too much. It's just too much. And so we have to be careful of that happening. And as you age, your friends die, and then you ain't got nobody to talk to. But there's always family and some friends and all. But just making new friends, I mean, to the point of we got to go through this ritual of, hey, how you doing? I'm fine. How are you? Let's go have coffee. And how was your life? How did you grow up? Sometimes you get tired of doing that. Like, I can't do that. Maybe it's just me. It's not. But at some point, Mr. Badi say, I'm your friend. No, you're not. Trust me, you're not. And then that's when I read that Miles said that you can never have enough friends. That's not true. Because then what do they want from you? And what do you want to give them? Right? And so sometimes, and I'm going to just say this, Mr. Madi, sometimes we mask how we really feel in being happy all the time. Of being opposite. Oh, I never. Of always thinking positive all the time. That's dangerous. Because he said something. He said, Dr. Ken sounds like an old man. Okay. What you miss from that is how'd you get there? How did you get to that point? Because nobody wants to hear that. They just want to hear you there. And so I find it interesting. I'm just reading through some of the things in here. Like some of the things Mr. Madi says, it strikes me as you're just trying to be provocative, or that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. As he said, Hughes Views is on vacation, but he is live this week on YouTube. Okay. As he said, I'm done promoting. Y'all, terrible. Curly Q said, yeah. So on my top 5 at 5, we were talking about somebody at the parking garage that was breaking into cars. And Curly Q said it was her cousin that did it. Okay, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. So my cousin on the south side of Chicago, Dad, this is what Aaron said, always warned us about the women with blades. I'm just saying, that was a serious caricature, a serious stereotype that if a woman got mad at you, she was going to stab you. She was going to cut you. And so you always had that thing in the back of your mind going, yeah, I need to be cognizant of that. As he said, we ran into an 80-year-old man the other day, and he said all his friends have passed on. He was by himself and having a drink and a good time by himself. He said he's just blessed to be here. I know that's right. But here's the kicker, though. Here's what I'm saying. You're blessed to be here at 20. At 20 years old. We have not taken control over our lives to the point where we don't understand that It's literally not promised that you could be here today. 5 minutes from now, you could no longer be alive. And that's it. And so if we don't live life in a way that's positive or doing or working towards something where the other fellow stars, I think we're wasting our time. I think we're wasting our energy. People don't miss that. People miss that. People understand that moving forward, there are just some things and some shackles that fall off. And that everyone is a victim of time. And that time is always going to be there no matter what. And it's always going to pass no matter what. And you can't change it. You can't push it. Once it's passed, you can't adjust it. All thing you can do is look forward. And I think that's something that we as Black people don't do. We go through life with this thing that it's going to be so terrible. And that's what has me confused. It's going to be so terrible. It's going to be, oh my God. It's like nobody in your life won anything? Like you didn't overcome anything? Like there's nobody, like I can understand if you're 80 or 90 years old and all your friends passed away and all your family got older, moved away, something like that. But when you're in your 30s or 40s, or God forbid, even 50s, and you're complaining, and the fact that you're alive and complaining is a whole other issue for me. It just seems weird. The city of Milwaukee has to change. And the only people that are going to change it is you. That means you can't wait on somebody to come around, roll around, decide to do this, decide to do that, decide to. In the end, it's going to come down to you. And you have to step up and you have to decide whether or not you're going to be the one to say, I'll do it or I'll go. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not a lot of people that want to step up and take care of anything. And it's unfortunate, but not a lot of people want to step up and take care of anything. And you'll be left wanting. You're gonna look up and you're gonna find out that the only person left is you, and they're coming for you. Unless we do something in this city to correct all the mistakes and correct all the things. When we come back, I want to talk about some comments that the governor made about one of the reasons why the bill didn't pass in Madison and what that's going to do for Black people. What's it going to do for Milwaukee? It may have gone and people were complaining about, it shouldn't pass. It's terrible. But do they really understand when your leadership tells you it's going to be bad that it didn't pass and people skip past that person, the governor, because in their brain, he's lamed up. We'll see. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Now with traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
We still have some delays out there along southbound 41 coming in from Good Hope Road all the way down to just past Hampton. Northbound's backed up from North Avenue all the way up to Hampton. Southbound 43 also slowing down just before North Avenue all the way down through the Marquette to about Howard Avenue. Northbound's backed up from Kilbourne up to North Avenue. Eastbound 94 in Waukesha County, we've got delays from Highway F to about Springdale Road. Then you're back on the brakes from about 70th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound from 27th Street heavy to Hawley Road. And again from Highway F to Highway 164. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, a chance of showers or storms. Some of them could be strong, a low of 62. Tomorrow, chance for storms and showers early, possibly severe as well, becoming partly cloudy with a high of 77. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
The Crew take on the Dodgers Friday, May 22nd through Sunday the 24th. Join Boy Band Night on Friday the 22nd, presented by Wintrust. Grab a theme night ticket for a Brew Crew Boys t-shirt and stay for post-game fireworks presented by T-Mobile. Then on Saturday, the first 25,000 fans collect a patriotic Brewers hat. Close it out with Family Sunday fun as the first 5,000 kids 14 and under get a Brewers pennant on the 24th, courtesy of Joy. Grab your seats at brewers.com.
On Thursday, May 28th, join Sharp for the 10th annual Unwrapped MKE from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs serving thousands of urban elementary students in schools throughout Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This sports update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Brewers are headed to Chicago to face the Cubs for the first time since the Brewers beat the Cubs 3-2 in last season's NLDS. The Brewers have won 8 out of their last 10 games, but suffered one of those losses in the final game of the series against the Twins. Brewers lost yesterday's game 5-4.
This one behind home plate. Caratini sheds the mask. He's got room, makes the catch. And the Twins survive, and they salvage a game out of this series.
Chicago came together during the White Sox and Cubs series to call out a familiar Wisconsin sports team. As you can hear, Green Bay sucks. Well, here's a familiar sound for Brewers fans.
It is gone! Bryce Terang, an October moment.
Tonight's game begins at 6:40. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Right now on Upfront.
Dramatic downfall.
Stitched together in a backroom deal.
The tax relief deal negotiated by Democratic Governor Tony Evers and Republican leaders fails the state Senate. Democrats rejecting their sitting governor.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Republicans hearing objections from Tom Tiffany.
And we have to work with the governors here because folks need help now.
This Sunday, inside the turbulent fallout, what it means for the race for governor. And our exclusive, our new interview one-on-one with Governor Tony Evers. His wide-ranging reaction just moments away.
Then state party convention.
And so if you missed it last week, the governor and Republican leaders and a few Democratic leaders decided that they wanted to make sure that we had tax relief. So Governor Tony Evers said the Senate Democrats, this is from WISN and a story written by Matt Smith, Senate Democrats who voted against the tax relief deal have put themselves in an untenable position ahead of the November elections after, get this, all 15 Democrats voted with 3 Republicans to kill the bill. They said they believe that somehow putting money back into people's pockets that are struggling financially across the state, apparently they don't believe that's an issue. And that's the kind of problem that we're having here in Wisconsin in relation to that. However, the governor says they're going to say we're going to fix it next time when all these wonderful things happens after Evers is gone, and we'll have a new governor and we'll have Democrats all over the place. And he said that's fine, that's a wish list, but you're impacting kids right now, impacting children right now, and it's a bad place for Democrats. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. Were you for it or against it, or does it really matter? It looks like people are voting against it because either the governor's lame duck or they don't like Republican leadership, or I don't know what it is. But they just don't like giving money back. They want to spend it on what they want to spend it. It's just weird that you would take, money and blow it on something that you shouldn't buy it on. But if you give it back to the person that gave it to you, there's an issue with that. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. You can hit us on the talk and text line, or you can hit us on the YouTube chat. I just find it bizarre. I just find it weird that when we try to give people their money back at a time when people are clearly struggling. I got friends that are struggling. I mean struggling. Like I have to at times go, I can't spend money on that. Like I can't do that right now, because I don't know what the future is going to look like. And I don't know if I can do that because I can't do that. Does that make sense? But for some reason, we just, I don't know, we just keep going. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. How you be?
I'm just fine. How you be?
I'm good. What's up?
I heard you had a birthday. Did you have a birthday?
Technically, yes.
Okay. What day?
I'm not telling.
Oh, well, I'm a Taurus like you. I guess. If you don't tell me, I don't know. You might be a Gemini.
Let's just say it's in the vicinity, and I never give an exact day because that way people can't figure out who you are and get all your info and all that stuff. So got to be careful. We got cray people out here. We got people that'll dox you and people that do all kind of bizarre stuff. So.
Well, some of it they learn. They learn from some other folks.
Yeah, but that don't mean I got to be a victim.
No, me either. But I said when mine was, so hey, whatever. I can't run around here worrying about what they're going to do to me. I just try to look around and try to be safe. That's what I try to do. But anyways, I was just calling you about so the station is bought out, right?
It's not bought out. Somebody bought it. Somebody bought the station.
Well,
yeah. Okay.
Right, so that's bought out, right? Maybe I didn't phrase it right. Somebody bought the station.
Okay.
So back to kid, I'm going to say this. I don't want to hold you too long. Now, from what I read, my information again, I read that the media is being bought out by big hedge funds and big corporations and stuff. And so these are the people with the money.
I have nothing to say regarding it. I'm not moving forward with it.
I don't want you to say nothing. I'm saying it.
Well, then why? But I don't want you to say something that may not necessarily.
What I read.
How do you feel about it?
But what I read, I just read it.
If you're not going to tell me where you got it from, Sandra, tell me how you feel about it. I would prefer that.
How do I feel about the media?
No. How do you feel
about
about
your freedom of speech?
Okay.
I like your freedom of speech for you to be able to say what you want to say. I want somebody to back it out and tell us we got to say what they want, what they tell us to say.
Well,
that's what
No radio has freedom of speech. Let's get that that misnomer that people have in their brain. You have a license by the Federal Communications Commission, and you're responsible for that license. You're responsible for what goes out over the air because you have it. So that's a special bond you have with the federal government. But you only have freedom of speech to a point. Like, you can't say certain words. You can't say certain dirty things on the air. Like, you still need to have decency. Does that make sense? Even though we don't have any more, what do you call it? Equality. Like, you can be all conservative or all liberal or somewhere in the middle or libertarian. We can be all that other stuff. But we used to have equal, right? If I had somebody on for 22 minutes for this, you got 22 minutes for that. And then some people don't like radio, so they want a different type of person on. So they try to, we're going to use this rule to stop that group, but then our group can be on. And then they want to change the rules so that their group is, and it just gets to a point where, in the end, nobody really has freedom of speech. Not on radio, not on TV.
Some people
because
do
you need to be. Well, you don't. You don't.
Yes,
You feel people that you don't agree. People tend to agree that there's freedom of speech when other people say things that they want to say that they don't like.
No, like, but I've heard people say stuff and they never got shut off. I said something to YouTube. They shut me off so fast.
Well, that's YouTube.
They kicked me off.
But that's YouTube. YouTube. You have to understand. Most social media leans one political way versus another political way. So if you're not politically correct in their eyes, they have become the police for people who feel a certain way or think a certain way.
Well, like I say, and they need us too, just as well as I enjoy being on it, but I figure they need us too, because if people didn't listen to them or use them, they'd be demolished too. So, but they say stuff and they let stuff be up there, so I felt I could answer back. And when I answer back, click. But that's basically what I had to say about the media being bought out. Okay, Dr. Ken.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye. You too.
Bye-bye. 833-212-1017 is the number. We just have to remember that we live in America, but freedom of speech only goes so far, right? There's some things under the Constitution and federal law you can't do. You can't say under any circumstances. They used to come after you to get you if you said you wanted to kill the president. Now people don't like the president, so some people can get away with saying they want to kill the president, and they'll come talk to you, but they won't. They may not necessarily arrest you. I don't know what that's about. I think you should do it regardless of who the president is, from Barack Obama to Donald Trump to Bush to Clinton, on and on and on. It's the position, not the person. I think when we allow our personal feelings to cloud doing what's right or saying what's right, that's a problem. But it is what it is, right? You just don't have that right to do it in certain spaces. You used to have that right on cable to do it. Now you don't have that right on cable because now the people that'll send you the cable will say, we don't like what was on your station, so we're going to cut you off ours. Like, it's just weird. So when you think about it, there really is no freedom of speech unless you are standing outside in the public square speaking. Otherwise, you can get checked. And unfortunately, sometime you should.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
At Versity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving, you're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Well, that's pretty darn depressing. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I mean, dug up some Hall & Oates from back in the day. Wow. Currently, it's 83 degrees at 46 minutes after the hour. High today was 86. The low tonight is 64 with a 1% chance. Just one. There's a 1% chance of rain, so we got to be careful of that. What is the week looking like? What is it going to be like over the next? Is it going to rain or what's it going to do? Tuesday, the high is 70 with a 13% chance of rain. Then Wednesday, 50, 50, 56, 50. So it's going to cool off for the rest of the week. So if you weren't outside today, it rained a little bit earlier, and then it's starting to warm up now. So if you want to get out and relax and take a walk and chill, now might be the time to do it. 833-212-1017 is the number if you got any questions or comments. Let me go back to the talk and text line. Ken, I understand that it is an age thing. If it's political, meaning that people may help you get where you want to get, you have to be introduced. I agree. I also have enough friends, and the majority are not true friends. When you reach 60, you have a handful of true friends. You're lucky. I got a lot of true friends. Like, I literally have friends that I talk to every day. Like, we call, and when we haven't talked to each other in a bit, maybe 1 or 2 days, we start going, okay, is everything okay? Let me get that personal call. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's right. And so that's a friend where you could pick up the phone and really not like miss what you were talking about before. You might miss it because of age. You know what I'm saying? You might miss it because of age, but you don't miss it because, you weren't like connected. You're always connected. You're always doing stuff. You're always, hey, what's going on? And you have so much stuff to talk about. Like, I just referred a book to someone, and I'm going to bring the book in tomorrow. Even though Thursday we're going to talk about the Spook Who Sat by the Door, which is just an excellent, phenomenal read. And if you don't have time, you can just do it on Audible and check it out, and you'll be able to do that. It is so appropriate. I didn't like the ending that much, but I'm going to talk about that in relation to what we do today and how we function today and the things we've had to come through to figure out how to make it to where we are today. Because it's true. Like, some things are political, some things are just, but when you get to a certain point in your life, you start seeing those patterns and those processes. And you see how and why people have been able to do things. And it's unfortunate. It really is. It really is unfortunate. Talking Text Line says, Dr. Ken, the real pro-union, pro-working class Democrats are long gone. Now it's how much can you disagree with the Republicans and Donald Trump? The Democrats need more people like Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania, pro-fossil fuel, pro-worker. To a point, yes, I can see that. I think what happens is that we have grown to disagree with people's differences. Like, it literally used to be a cool thing to be different. Now it's not. Now we want everybody to think the same way, speak the same way, talk the same way, support the same thing, do the same thing. And they don't really care whether or not you agree, and they'll hide behind political correctness. And it makes you sound like a conservative when, in fact, you're actually being more liberal by allowing people to be who they are. Like, I think that's the whole point, to let people be who they are. Whether you accept it or not, you leave them be. Not tolerate, because tolerate is like, I really hate you, but I'm going to put up with you. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about leaving people be, letting people be who they are, to the point that it doesn't infringe on my life. Then we have an issue. But until then, leave people. Now it's a cool thing to hate Democrats. Like, it's a cool thing to call people out and talk about them and racialize everything. It's a cool thing to hate Donald Trump and hate MAGA and everything they stand for, when in fact, both of those groups are the wealthiest in the country, have more money, have more political power, more clout, own more than everything, and are in the top 1%, top 10% of the population, Democrat or Republican. So essentially, what are we missing? People from up top poke the bear and have everybody argue and scream and holler. These are not nothing in Milwaukee. Well, that too. Nothing has changed in Milwaukee or America. The players have changed, but it really hasn't changed. You know, we talk about, the Democratic Party used to be the party of the Klan. Yeah, and the Republican Party used to be the party of anti-slavery. Like, those things are historical. Times change. Not always for the better. And until we start taking a look at what's going on and recognizing what's going on, we're going to be surprised. Except you shouldn't be surprised, because the process has always been there. The work has always been there. And we pretend like it's not. And then, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. What are you talking about? You were told, hey, if you keep doing this, this is going to happen. Oh, no, it's not going to happen because they, right, Republican, Democrat, told me it's not going to happen. And then what happens? It happens. And then you act like you're shocked. And then they'll walk up. Oh, my God, I cannot believe this happened. You poor Republicans are doing this to Democrats. You poor Democrats are doing this to Republicans. But somebody says something in the YouTube chat that clicked. Don't they both eat at the same table? Don't they both get their money from the same place? Like, what am I missing? Y'all sit and eat at the same table. You're complaining from the same side. Both of y'all eating. Complain about the other side as you eat, as you take resources, as you grow. So, are we fooling ourselves? I don't know. Sandra has a longer runway than me. She's older than me. So she has a bigger runway than I have. So sometimes when she talks and you all hear, there goes Sandra again, you might want to listen because there's a little kernel you'll get. A little nugget that makes you go, oh, that's what that is. Because I've learned that when older people, elders, get revved up about something, they see the pattern, they see the process of things starting to repeat itself. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next. Have a great weekend. Have a great time. It's been a fun. Don't work too hard. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you. Deuces. I'm out.
Be quiet.
Check your head.